My name is Stan, the Annuity Man, America's annuity agent, licensed in all 50 states. Today's topic is 401k guaranteed lifetime income. Can I get that in my 401k, Stan the Annuity Man? You're the guy that can tell me that. You can tell me the truth, and I will after this. So 401k guaranteed lifetime income, that's a pretty hot topic right now. And most of you out there in the 50 states that you're in, the lovely state you're sitting in, if you're working for an employer, they typically have a 401k or 403b or 457, something that's deferring taxes. If it's a 401k, hopefully your employer is matching what you're putting in. They're putting in more for you. I know that I do that, the Annuity Man, and my people are so happy. But what's happened in recent years with, let's say, 14,000 people turning age 65 every single day, they're looking for lifetime income. You say, well, why are they doing that? It's because most companies don't offer pensions, they offer 401k. So at the end of your time with that company, you're going to take that 401k asset and you're going to roll it to an IRA somewhere, bank, big brokerage firm, whatever, and you're going to manage it or you turn it into income with annuities, etc. Now, the 401k machine out there, and it is a big, massive machine, big companies involved, they have seen the trend of people like me having people with 401ks transfer their money to the contractual guarantees that I offer with the carriers that I show, which are all carriers. And they're tired of that. They're saying, Stan, man, you're just pulling up in these fancy cars and this isn't right. We got to figure it out. And what they've done is they've now started putting inside of 401ks choices for lifetime income, which I think on a conceptual basis is fine, because what they're doing is they're validating what I've been screaming out here for the last couple decades, that annuity lifetime income guarantees are great. But there is a difference, however. What I'm seeing with the 401ks, big machines out there that are offering the income products inside your 401k. So instead of you choosing mutual funds or whatever, you can choose an annuity for lifetime income at a future date. Great in concept, okay? Here's the problem that I see. Annuities are commodity products. You have to shop all carriers for the highest contractual guarantee. For lifetime income, we say A+ or better, but shop all A+ or better companies out there. That's a bunch. And annuity quotes are like a gallon of milk. Every 7 to 10 days they change, and carriers are setting their contractual guarantees to attract certain age ranges. That's how it works. Interest rates play a very, very, very minor role in the pricing. It's all about life expectancy at the time you take the payment. But what I'm seeing in the 401k world is there's only a couple of choices. And typically, from what I'm hearing, those carriers are typically very big and they pay a shelf space or some type of fee to get in the platform. That's typically how it works. I'm not saying it works like that all the time, but typically that's how it works. My problem with that is, in the annuity world, since it's a commodity product, you should be shopping all carriers, not the 2 or 3 that's on the shelf. Now, I don't know how the board of directors at that company sign off on that. I don't know how that is a fiduciary way to do it, because according to the fiduciaries, you have to show all choices. You have to quote all carriers. You can't point people to just a few. But let me be very clear. I'm very happy that 401ks are starting to include that, because what that tells me is what I already know. People want lifetime income. People want an additional pension to Social Security, which is the other annuity that they have. They want lifetime income. They want a consistent flow of income into their account for Chapter 2 of their lives. So fortunately, the 401k world has figured that out. The defined contribution, that's what 401ks are called, defined contribution plans, okay? Defined benefit plans are pensions themselves. Don't see those much anymore, defined contributions. So the 401k, you do have those choices, but you're limited to those choices. And I don't know the perfect answer to this. My opinion, 401ks should be for growth. You're working, you want the assets to grow. Once you stop working is when you then need to pivot and lock in lifetime income guarantees. In other words, keep your powder dry and then lifetime income shop, hopefully with us. But to lock it in there during that time period, I'm just not sure that's the right move for you. Maybe for a small portion of what you do as an asset allocation is fine. But also understand you're only getting quotes from a couple of carriers in most cases. I've not seen a 401k that has all choices. I'm sure it's administratively impossible, but that doesn't mean it's right to just put two. So the 401k lifetime income planning out there is happening right now, and the reason is the 401k companies want to hang on to that asset. They want to get compensated for that asset. They don't want you to transfer that asset to XYZ company using the Annuity Man to quote. They don't want that to happen, even though it happens all the time. What I'm telling you as a consumer is be careful over here. Have them send you a specimen policy if you're looking at one of those annuities inside the plan. Read that specimen policy. If you want to go to my site at The Annuity Man and schedule a call for us to give you a second opinion on it, we will. And most likely we'll say, hey, if you're good with that, here's the limitations. If you're good with that, go for it. Good company. It's got to be a good company. But we're also going to say, also consider keeping your powder dry and then shopping all carriers for the highest contractual guarantee. Because what they can't say on the 401k side is these are the best. They can't say that. These are the best products. They can't say that. These are the best guarantees. They can't say that. What they can say is we have approved these carriers because they're strong and they're on our platform. That's true. But that doesn't mean you lock that in. Do your homework. There's no mulligans in retirement or chapter 2 of your life. You have to really dig in and educate yourself on what you're doing, okay? So I'm awful, again, conceptually, 401ks and having annuity type lifetime income options inside of this, it's a good start. It's not where it's going to finish, it's a good start. And I'm glad that they've acquiesced and said, okay, yeah, we're going to put those in there too because there's a demand for it. There's a demand for pension type lifetime income because there's no pensions exist anymore. Unless you work for the federal government, state government, military, I guess the federal government, a good labor union, etc. And some small handful of companies still offer pensions, defined benefit plans. But defined contribution plans, you're starting to see it. Don't let some guy at some luncheon say, yeah, you should do that. No, dig into it a little bit more, okay? Find out liquidity provisions. Find out pivot. Can you pivot out of it? Find out what the contractual guarantee is before you lock in. You can do that and then shop it and see if it's even in the ballpark. What we found a lot of times is some of the things that are being offered in the 401ks aren't even in the ballpark of contractual guarantee, the highest contractual guarantees that we can offer, shopping all carriers. And typically the carriers inside of those 401ks, we have them too. So it'd be neat to just see do an apples to apples. Do an apples to oranges, do an apples to apples and see what it is. Key word, educate yourself, slow the game down. There's never an urgency to buy an annuity. The urgency is for you to understand what you're potentially going to buy. One last thing, do me a favor. Above my head there is a video link. I need you to click that because that explains how the process works at my company, The Annuity Man, based in Las Vegas. All of the agents that are all licensed in all 50 states, not on commission, they are located, they are all under one roof. We don't have any remote agents, okay? Everybody's under one roof. My policy delivery team's under one roof. So take a look at that. Make sure that you run quotes. You can email me at stan@theannuityman.com and I will respond. All right? See you next time.